and how hard it's been to transfer him into boxing. I just don't think he's going to pose much of a threat for AJ, to be honest.
With that being said, what does he bring AJ? Well, he brings AJ a 6'5", rangy heavyweight. Oh, goodness gracious, straight right hand on the button. See you later. That can punch. You know what I mean? This guy can punch. He's got 20 knockouts for a reason. I don't think he's anywhere near AJ's level, and this is why this kind of fight is dangerous, is because he doesn't have a name. He's a puncher. He's 6'5", he can get to AJ's chin, and if he does beat AJ, you just blew up the biggest fight in boxing. I don't think he will beat AJ. I think AJ should probably stop him inside of 4 rounds, right? If we're really talking about the levels of difference here, that's what should happen. But AJ has struggled with punchers, and sometimes getting a little comfortable with guys that are below his level that should give him no problems. He's with a new team now. How does the Usyk style work for AJ? Maybe it's just me being a nervous.
As anticipation builds for Anthony Joshua versus Kristian Prenga, boxing experts are weighing in on the matchup. While Joshua enters as the heavy favorite, Prenga's size and punching power have led some to believe he could still pose a dangerous threat. So, who are the pros backing?
With his background, and I know what it is working with kickboxers, and we've got an elite level kickboxer, and how hard it's been to transfer him into boxing. I just don't think he's going to pose much of a threat for AJ, to be honest.
And he's going to want to work out, though, Peter. He's not going to want to sort of knock the bloke out in the first round. I mean, he probably does want to get a few rounds under his belt, doesn't he?
I think he'll have a look at him. I think he'll get behind his boxing and have a look. But unfortunately, you know, I think he'll present his chin a little bit too quick.
Right.
And somebody with AJ's power, he's got destructive power, so as soon as that shot lands...
Adding to the discussion, Malik Scott acknowledged that Kristian Prenga lacked Anthony Joshua's resume and experience, with his win over Joey Dewejko standing out on his record. Still, Scott warned against overlooking Prenga, citing his size, dangerous right hand, and underdog mentality. He believed the biggest question was how Prenga would handle the pressure of such a major stage.
Fight, you know, it's going to go one way. For sure, you're going to get your money's worth. Now, to get to the new opponent that he has, Prenga, I would say the best name on his resume, as far as I can say, and I gotta, you know, shout out my Philly guy, Joey Dewejko, who's a tough guy, can be slick at times, and he was able to beat Joey Dewejko. Now, do he have anything extremely sexy on his resume like AJ did? No, you can't compare that at all. But like Max said, what you can do is compare. We have a big man that knows how to throw a right hand, and guess what, Max? He has nothing to lose. And if this moment don't get to him, because he's never been on a stage like this. You know, we could talk about techniques and what's his advantages, but the real thing is how is he going to react to this stage? AJ has been here so many times, and in this case, AJ has a bigger fish to fry, meaning Fury. So we're going to see how Prenga handle it, but he's a big guy with a good right hand. He has nothing to lose, and we've seen funnier things happening.
Tim Bradley expected Anthony Joshua to deliver another dominant performance, pointing to the way AJ handled his previous fight by sticking to the game plan before finishing the job emphatically. Bradley believed Joshua would approach this matchup in similar fashion and made it clear that he expected an explosive ending.
I thought AJ was going to fall into when he fought against Jake Paul, and he didn't. He came in, he wiped that man out. He wiped him out. He followed the script until he didn't. He followed the script until he didn't. You know, but, you know, I expect AJ to go in there and do the same thing. Yeah, we want a body, AJ. Yeah, for sure.
Tim Bradley pointed out that Kristian Prenga had never fought beyond 8 rounds and relied heavily on his knockout power. He highlighted Prenga's dangerous right hand and 6 feet 5 inches frame, suggesting the matchup resembled a Tyson Fury-style test for Anthony Joshua. Still, Bradley questioned whether AJ truly needed a tune-up fight.
This is a guy that ain't never been past 8 rounds, guys. Never been past 8 rounds. He's 20, I think he's 20-0. No, 20-1 with 20 knockouts. So he got some pop on his shots. He got a good ass right hand. Got a pretty good left hook as well. Left hook to the body. But the one thing that I see about this guy, he's big too. He's like 6'5", about 260. So I see what they doing. Anthony Joshua, you know, Eddie Hearns, they trying to get a guy that's similar in height and, you know, reach and everything of Tyson Fury. I see what they doing, you know. But I feel like Anthony Joshua didn't need a tune-up.
Continuing his analysis, Tim Bradley urged Anthony Joshua to stay disciplined and avoid Prenga's dangerous right hand. While respecting Prenga's toughness, Bradley believed his lack of elite-level experience would become evident once Joshua applied pressure. He felt AJ's ring IQ and experience should ultimately prove too much as long as he stayed focused.
Got a good right hand. All you gotta do is take it to him. You know, this guy right here, he's tough, but he's soft at the same time. He's tough, but he's soft at the same time. So, like, if you start to put the pressure on him, he ain't never been at that level, and you start hitting him hard, and you bag him in the corner, he gonna tuck up in that high guard, that dummy defense, and he just gonna take it. That's it. Oh, he gonna try to come back, but again, you got too much experience, AJ. You got too much understanding of boxing, bro. You know, don't get reckless, because he does got pop. But just take it to him, bro, and it should be easy. Easy, bro.
Not everyone was completely comfortable with the matchup, however. Carl Frampton admitted that he knew very little about Kristian Prenga and would need to study the challenger before making a full assessment. He rejected the idea of calling the bout a warm-up fight, warning that boxing is unpredictable and that Anthony Joshua could still face unexpected problems or even suffer an injury inside the ring.
To be honest, I know zero about this opponent, so I'll need to do a little bit of research to see what he's like first. But I just don't like that term, warm-up fight, but that's what they're calling it, isn't it? And there's always a chance he could slip up. There's always a chance AK could break his hand off this guy's head and put him out for a while, so you never know what's going on.
Meanwhile, Ade Oladipo viewed Anthony Joshua as the clear favorite but warned against overlooking Kristian Prenga. Prenga's size and knockout power still made him dangerous. Oladipo stressed that any heavyweight with that kind of punching ability can change a fight with one shot.
Prenga shouldn't offer any problems. He's a big lump, as they all are in the heavyweight division. I'm guessing he's around 250, 260. Although everyone he's knocked out is at a very, very low level, knockout power is knockout power. Some people will go points with some of the guys that he's put to sleep. So he clearly has power. And I've always said, I think if a 260-pound guy hits you clean on the chin, your legs will wobble and you could go down. So AJ has to...
Shifting the focus to Anthony Joshua, Gareth A. Davies argued that Anthony Joshua's biggest challenge may be psychological rather than physical. While praising AJ's condition and commitment in training, he noted that Joshua appeared determined and fully focused ahead of his meeting with Prenga. Davies emphasized that Joshua could not afford any lapses in concentration, warning that the risks attached to an unexpected defeat were enormous.
Physically, mentally, it is going to be very tough for him. But he's back in training camp. He looks very good. I love the way he was saying his mind, which was outwards at kind of 360, is now funneled and ready for the July fight against Prenga. He needs to be very focused against this guy because he's an unknown. It would be highly embarrassing for him to lose.
That confidence in Joshua's preparation was echoed by Dave Allen, who expressed full belief that Anthony Joshua would not return to the ring unless he was fully prepared. Having shared the gym with AJ years ago, Allen described him as a consummate professional who only fights when he believes he is at his best. Joshua's decision to step back into the ring was a strong sign that he was completely fit and ready.
Anthony Joshua, no, I was a sparring partner 14 years ago, or sparring partner for a couple of years. He won't be in the ring unless he's 100%. That's one thing about him. He's a consummate pro. He only way he gets in the ring is if he's 100%. So that's one thing you can always say about him. He'll be.
Offering a different take, Tony Bellew rejected the idea that the matchup was simply a straightforward tune-up. He viewed it as an opportunity to see how Kristian Prenga copes when pushed into uncomfortable situations and forced to deal with real pressure. Bellew also suggested that while Anthony Joshua would prefer bigger-name opponents, he would still embrace this challenge if it was the fight available to him.
I'm not going to lie, I think this fight is a formality, but ultimately the reason it's happening is because his team want to see what happens in camp. His team want to see him pushed in sparring. His team want to see when you're in sparring and it gets around 7, 8, you feel a little bit tired. I want to see what happens up here. This fight is happening to please a camp, I believe.
Do you think AJ, if given the option, would have gone straight to Tyson Fury, as opposed to having this warm-up fight?
I believe if he was told this is the only option you've got to face Tyson Fury, he'd have said.
Spencer Oliver described the bout as a career-changing opportunity for Kristian Prenga, but stressed that he had yet to prove himself against top-level competition. While acknowledging Prenga's punching power, Oliver viewed the matchup as a measured risk for Anthony Joshua, pairing him with a dangerous heavyweight who lacks elite experience.
I agree with you in some extent that it is a massive opportunity for Kristian Prenga, for sure. But you must admit that he is at a lot lower level than Anthony Joshua. He's never competed at that sort of level. Anthony Joshua knows what he's going in with here. Your guy is very heavy-handed, yes, but from the footage that you've seen online from him, he doesn't he's not mixed, and he doesn't seem to be at that level as Anthony Joshua. And I suppose that's where this is all coming from. It's a calculated gamble from Joshua's side of things because they want a test of some sort, a guy that is heavy.
Oliver also urged caution when assessing Kristian Prenga, pointing out that every victory on his record had come inside the distance, regardless of the level of opposition. He suggested that the greater uncertainty surrounded Anthony Joshua's mental state amid the scrutiny surrounding his return. Oliver believed AJ's true form would only become clear once he settled into the fight, viewing the contest as a chance for Joshua to re-establish himself, while Prenga looked to seize the biggest opportunity of his career.
If it's the 20 wins that he's had have all come inside the distance. Yeah, it's been a lower caliber of opponent, but Anthony Joshua's had his problems outside of the ring. He's got to deal with that going into this one. So given all that, taking all that into consideration, and we don't know where Anthony Joshua's going to be mentally, and I don't think no one knows where he's going to be. Maybe even he doesn't know where he's going to be until he does that ring walk, until he goes in there. So if you look at all of that, you go, this could be one of the greatest comebacks in the heavyweight boxing in such a short space of time because of what Anthony Joshua's been through. And Kristian Prenga is a dangerous guy that will see this as an opportunity, and that's what this is about.
Opportunity, and that's what this is about. Keith Sullivan suggested that Anthony Joshua's toughest battle could be the pressure surrounding the fight. He pointed out that Joshua has far more at stake than Kristian Prenga and will carry the burden of expectation into the ring. Sullivan believes those outside pressures could play a major role in how the contest unfolds.
Caliber of fights that AJ has been taking, he has not been taking equal par caliber fights. He's taking a step below, and I understand there's levels to this, and we get that. You know, one of the biggest things in this sport, and Spencer, you could speak to this more than anybody, is the mindset. KP is coming in with a win-win mindset. He has absolutely nothing to lose. Everything is on the line for AJ. His legacy, his boxing career. If he loses this fight, it's over. Finished. His career is done, and he loses out on millions of marketing and sponsorship. There's a